thing. What a wonderful evening. A blessed good evening to all you wonderful comrades here at Lester Vaughan School, and of course those who are streaming. It is a joy to be here. And I want you all to know, this school has been named after my late headmaster, Lester St. Clair Vaughan, SCM, the best principal of the 1950s and 60s in Barbados. It is a joy to be here in this wonderful setting, and I hope that the dams are seeing it, because they are mustering a few aged, and they're mustering a 50 and a 60. We have the thousands here at Lester Vaughan, inside and outside. So I'm happy to be here, and I want to thank all of you for coming along and being a part of the Barbados Labour Party's efforts. I know there are one or two Dems among us, and I welcome them, because the Barbados Labour Party's membership does not comprise people who are arrogant and insulting and bitter, complacent, like the Democratic Labour Party does. We constitute women and men, young people who are brilliant, loving, kind-hearted, and willing to serve the country to the best of our ability. I have breaking news, like how you hear VOB, not CBC, because I hope that the Democratic Labour Party pay back the $110,000 or the $130,000 they owe. But I heard breaking news like you would on VOB, where a parent met me on the outside just then. She said, "Mistress, when you go up, talk about the students overseas that are suffering. My daughter is out there all confused and probably packing to come back home because the government is not fulfilling its role for paying for the scholarships and to fund those persons who are overseas. And when we, the parents, try, the 2% that is added, but that NSRL is killing us, and it ain't look like the central bank got the money. The parents say so, and not me. So I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to really understand where we are in Barbados today, and to know that the stability of this country will come through the Barbados Labour Party again, as it did in 1994, as it did in 1976, and as it did previous to that, because the Labour Party has always had astute leadership under our core of leaders over the past decades. So I welcome all of you to this beautiful parish and the wonderful people that you will meet here from St. Thomas and otherwise. And I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, we told you not to look at the Dems in 2008, and you all, when you say you all, I mean the Barbadians now, not you here, not you from the north. You from the north gave them a good whipping, and this time we want all Kelma must go, Donville must go. Bloody traitors. I want you to know that we in the Barbados Labour Party are really reeling under the pressure, as most Barbadians are. The people of St. Thomas are hard-working, dedicated people, and have been for all the centuries. We worked very, very hard. Our foreparents worked very hard in the sugar industry and in the slave trade before that to help to make Barbados the safe place that it had been until 2008, when the Democratic Labour Party gave you the pie in the sky promises, and Barbadians jumped and held on to them. Today, the teachers and the teaching profession is in the worst state ever of teachers. The police are reeling under the pressure, and many of them are seeking a little something on the side in order to survive, because they have families Under the Barbados Labour Party, we had money in our pockets that you could buy a beer. You could buy some 4 for 10s. You could buy a little bottle of wine. You could have taken your partner out for Valentine's Day. We hardly saw any red on Valentine's Day, except the red the Labour Party people were wearing. This Democratic Labour Party has destroyed every facet of this society, and it hurts me, and it hurts you, and many thousands of Barbadians in a similar way. We in St. Thomas feel the squeeze you feel too. The layoffs were tremendous because they seem to think that for all these decades, the people in St. Thomas voted the Labour Party, sent home all the beautified Barbados though. Sent home those young men that were on the block that came into employment 10 and 12 years in MTW. Those guys are back on the block again. The few that were at sanitation from St. Thomas sent them home, because them is vote for Cynthia Forde. You ever imagined anything like that? The Barbados Labour Party has never segregated anything or anybody in this country. Our policies and programs embrace all and sundry, old and young, rich and the poor, black and white. But these people have come in, having come with Don Blackman in the past and called us white shadows. They gave the impression we support white people. Look back though at the Dems in the last 10 years and see who the hell the white people are though. Let them see you and see who the rich people are, the millionaires. And when you look upstairs at Parliament, sometimes you see them up there sitting in the gallery waiting. I believe they're waiting like hawks for the next contract. I don't know. They didn't tell me. I know that there's some that every single chair in our schools now comes through that particular firm, and not a single tradesman that builds chairs like Tallboy and them can't get a job to build a table or chair for the government of Barbados, for our schools, our district hospitals, and our other institutions. I cry shame on the Democratic Labour Party because they pledged in their manifesto that 40% of the services will come through from Barbadians. The only 40% we're getting is the 40% from the project with the Chinese up in Sam Lawrence Castle. Chinese getting 60%. Bajans getting 40 Beijings, and we got artisans left, right, and center, carpenters, masons, tailors, you name them. And those people are not getting any employment under this Democratic Labour Party. They destroyed my people and your people from your parishes when they decapitated urban and rural development. I have a man over there in Farm Path who stockpiled toilet bowls, the thing windows, like the Oran windows and so, things that would last. Today, he still has some of the things at his house. From day one of the Democratic Labour Party coming in, they did not only decapitate the two institutions, because they sent home poor Peter Scott, now deceased, may the Lord bless him in his grave. And they sent home George Edgell. And the carpenters and masons and other artisans, they were unceremoniously sent home. And people like Roger Coe now dead. That's why he called his name, because he's belonging to Chris Sinclair. He got contracts all in St. Thomas, down in Rock Hall, a man with some gold teeth and he out skinning. And getting all the jobs, all the work, and people with families reeling under the pressure of being unemployed. Shame we cannot divide Barbados into 2 or 3. We are all Barbadians with our navel strings buried here, and we have to benefit under any government, BLP, DLP, or any of the others of the future, talking like 2050. NCC workers went home. They got destroyed too. People were penalized because they felt they come from the north and they vote for the BLP. I have roads in St. Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, comrades all. Bloomsbury Road, ready to collapse like that hole on White Hill. Not a touch from Michael Lashley, but he's up in St. Philip and in Christchurch and St. Michael fixing every road. And we are here with potholes where people are destroying their vehicles, breaking up their feet and stumping out their toes. Nothing coming from them. No wells are being cleared, so every place is flooding. rural people, particularly running from St. Thomas down to St. Lucie, are suffering under this DLP. And there are two more things I want to bring home to you before I leave. 40-acre. I wrote officially to the Honorable Minister in 2009, asking him to acquire some spots at 40-acre. 47 spots were compulsorily acquired. You know, St. Thomas people didn't get one, although they apply. Not even the people living in the back of that same 40-acre. Dennis Kelman gave them to whom he felt like. But you know, this time, so 3-4 months from now, I want him to go and weigh all the food that he cooked down in St. Lucie. No more parliament for him. Allen View was a part of the housing neighborhood project. Colonel Bostic had in Greenfields, Cat's Castle, the Garden Land belonging to Reverend Joe, Bishop Joe, and Allen View for $60 million Barbados dollars from the IADB. The Labour Party conceived the project, and all Thompson and Lashley did was to go up to Washington and sign on the dotted line. I believe it would have been in February, March 2008. You know, to this day, none of those communities. When I went to Greenfields and I saw the squalor, I almost cried. When I go in Allen View, you cannot build any new houses. You can expand if you are given permission by town planning. But in there is in a mess. They need that sewage project. They need roads and lanes to lead to their houses. This government, with its incompetence, had to repatriate 47 million Barbados dollars to the IADB. 6 years elapsed, and they did not spend the money on poor people in Barbados, in Cat's Castle, in the Garden Land, in Allen View, and in Greenfields are at a worse condition now that the NSRL and the extra amount is put on to VAT, and people have lost their work, and the Queen Elizabeth Hospital cracking at the seams. It is wrong. They're giving me a red light, so I'm going to wrap up. I got to wrap up, though, because I believe I already obey rules. I was a Cub Scout leader. I was a Brownie leader. And we in the Barbados Labour Party believe in good discipline and good governance. So I will conform, except to say they agreed to the police station that now Sir David had acquired. Thank you. Oh, the red light only to say it belongs to the Labour Party. That is why it's bright and red. Proper. Thank you, darling. 10 minutes can help me to fix up Frondel. Somebody who was overseas last week attended the function. I was told they had 75 people there. And that the people in New York and so grumbling and eating the fine clothes. All they're looking at is philanthropy. Walking about begging all the damn time. And the resources ain't coming into Barbados to reach you, the poor people, in the various institutions. I don't know where it is going. And I did not say it has gone into anybody's pocket. But I know the people in St. Thomas and the west of Barbados ain't getting none. The police station. I am so happy for the police at District D to be properly housed in an environment that David Simmons, now Sir David, may the Lord bless him. He looks so good for 75 Fundel. You can't match David Simmons. So good for his age. So brilliant, so sharp. But he has always been. I can't tell you who Fundel always was. But do you know, those buggers went ahead after Sir David had demitted office, but had sent back the drawings to include in a forward-thinking way, as the world is now, a resource center, or community center, and you know the usual things that how the Glebe has a little post office and a little teller machine and all that. They turned this all up there in King Garden. So Cynthia in a body, didn't tell me nothing. Talking like a tongue girl, ain't tell me nothing. Come to the old people, they ain't spit for me. Absolutely no dialogue with the residents of St. Thomas. None. But they had up a sign, and they did not even finish putting on the logo, and the sign got taken down. But you know what? They have found some inaccuracies in that area. And I understand that what should have been $13.5 million is probably nearly 39 now. Cost overruns in these hard times. I want the police to have secure places to work. I want the police to be able to get the equipment and the resources, because without them in any society, we cannot go any further. But it's not going to be at all costs, though. Those buggers, and I do not apologize for calling them that, have up there in kindergarten, when I passed just now, 2 or 3 lily white tanks. I hope the wind blow away tonight. 2 or 3 lily white tanks to officially open that police station tomorrow, and not an invitation to me or anybody in the parish. None. Leave them alone. The name on the police station will be all the Dems will get. And we, the people of St. Thomas, will work assiduously to make sure that we hold together, embrace the police, and make sure we level crime in this parish. I am not putting a foot there tomorrow. Nobody will call me on my cell phone and say it was an oversight, because they did it with the Barbados Labour Party with the installation of the new Governor General. May the Lord bless her. They did it with us, and some people got the invitation the same day. The next day, some ain't getting none at all. That is not protocol. A government must manage and not overlook people who must be an integral part of the change. The change agents must be included. All like now, there is no sidewalk. So when the hundreds of people are going up to that police station, Bees Bottle on the other side of the road, another story. And these people cannot walk on the same side that it is on. When I passed, I saw a temporary light. What do you call the temporary thing that the light and power give you for electricity? A temporary electricity thing they're operating on with the last 2 months. Working day and night, morning and evening, to bring it to close, because it was to be open on the 3rd of January. And then I heard it was the 10th of January. And of course, Frooms want the name on it. And Adria want the name on it too. So it got pushed back now to the 26th. I'm sorry that they didn't go down to April the 1st, All Fools Day. Millions of dollars. I want for them to be accountable. No files will be burned. Don't forget, Ronald Jones told the people of Barbados in Parliament one day that he is angry with civil servants who are not serving the government well, the new government. They're taking files down to the port and burning them in the incinerator down there. Don't carry no file from the kindergarten police station down there. Don't burn any files. I want Scotland Yard in Barbados. I want the FBI. I don't want them to burden our police officers, because you don't know who might want to coerce them. And if they ain't getting no money, they get little money, they get no allowances, people may be inclined to. But our police officers are right people. And I support them 1,000%, because they're doing a fantastic job with limited resources. And finally, St. Thomas the dumping ground. Oh, Lord have mercy. I would like to see who in here will vote for the Dems, though. They have built that police station right opposite the biggest, nastiest looking dump in the whole of St. Thomas and in Barbados. Bees Bottles is a travesty. And they have put the police station there, but have not made or put any corrective measures in place to move it from there and take it over to the Mangrove landfill area that Dennis Lowe promised it would happen October 2013. He said in Parliament, Bees Bottles will move in October. To this day, it is still there. I'm not telling you it doesn't bring in foreign exchange. I'm not telling you it doesn't help with employment. But it is a scourge to the sight of people. And it is a terrible, terrible thing for the rodents and the vermin. And then the property owners down there are losing. It is depreciating the properties because those people had their beautiful homes, 35, 40 years they were living there, now to be faced with that. And then when you look at the police station, the magistrate's looking down there on squalor. It is wrong. The mangrove landfill, we know that. You know what they did with me last year? The molasses that the rich man moved from that, the port or whoever you're assigned to do it, they put it up in Mount Wilton and St. Thomas on my side, and they trickle right into Coles Cave and up there to Lake Tarzan. Degradation, and they talk about, oh, we're talking about environmentally sound, economically viable, and all these different fussy buzzwords that ain't saying a damn thing. In the understanding of you Barbadians and now who went to school and learned, never mind if you learned a little bit, you will still understand it is madness what they taught. Buses, one bus every 4 hours. Up there in Sturgis, that's how they're treating St. Thomas people. The Tassie project is like Michael Lashley, a waste of time. It has gone nowhere but destroy our lives and that of our little children who have to take the bus going to and fro. Sanitation, one pickup per month. Sometimes you might get one every 3 weeks. Water outages, well, you know that's another story. And the bills are high. Agriculture gone to the dogs. I want to praise Mr. Edgell over at Duke's Tenantry Plantation, or Duke's Plantation, who has offered 30 acres of land to the government 5 years ago, and they are now bringing measures of that project to fruition. I thank Dr. Agara, who heard me speak about it in a very negative way, and I had an opportunity to see the rolling out of it. The Chinese, again, has funded it with a $30 million amount. I want for Barbadians to benefit, pick up the knowledge and the skills, because I want to see projects of that nature replicate not only St. Thomas, but the length and breadth of Barbados, because we must feed ourselves and cut down on that import bill. I don't mind James Paul. He talk a whole lot of trash on the radio today. Can't deal with him now. Poverty is the final one. I got a WhatsApp message yesterday. People with problems paying the water bill and so on. No work, no money. Friday evening, I had a bad experience. Families with nothing to eat. Cheryl, I'm not going to speak to it in detail, but hunger, because there's no work, because there's no money, and I know that there are decent people who have now to resort to all kinds of nefarious actions in order to survive. And you know what hurts most? Poor people have now been made poorer under this Democratic Labour Party, who said, pathways to progress. Let that dead man don't know. God is sleeping. Pathways to progress. And do you progress down? Or do you progress up? I'm not so sure because I didn't go to school much. Thank God for Lester Vaughan, though. Barbadians are now at the lowest ebb, eking out whatever little bit they have to pay the utility bills, and then little or nothing to eat. It is wrong. And when I go over by the cenotaph, when I go to Parliament, any evening after 5:30, I am the kind of person I internalize pain. When it comes to other people's pain, I don't have any because I have no man. So I internalize other, and that is not an invitation for any of you men in here. Season settled. I internalize people's pain when they are discomforted, whether it be a marital relationship go wrong, or loss of employment, or can't find food to eat, or can't feed the children, whatever. And therefore, I have seen some experiences recently where single women in particular, and they are working class women, cannot meet the demands because they've either lost their work, or there have been divorces or separations from partners, whether it be husband or whatever. And therefore, they are now trying to rely on whom? Uncle, cousin, brother, and more particularly, mother and grandmother. And this government came in and spoke about pensions and took away one of the pensions from senior citizens. My sister went straight into early dementia in 2012 May when this Democratic Labour Party took away one of her 2 pensions. And all she kept saying, my husband is dead, my children are no longer here, and what am I going to do? I used to keep that money to pay my land tax because Bajans love to pay their taxes. I used to keep it to help me improve the quality of my house, put on a little paint and thing, any little thing, or do a little plumbing. I used to keep it to pay my house insurance. $500 they took away from her one time. A woman who worked so hard to be able to make ends meet in Barbados. And then I have a man who went under Harrison's Cave in a bulldozer, trying to cut the pathway for the trams and sort of going when that idea was conceived. Boulders dropping down, and that poor man had one of his pensions taken away, almost drove that household crazy because they were relying on that money to help to pay the little mortgage and pay the credit union to be able to have that house done. We have people whose houses are now up for sale. Up for sale because they've missed 3 months because we brought in a bunch of strangers in here who don't understand the Barbadian culture. And they seem to think that every house that is up for sale must go to one of their own, and Barbadians must be disenfranchised. I say, no, the Barbados Labour Party under Mayor Motley has to make the difference. We have to make the difference, and we have to bring love and comfort to the people of Barbados. Finally, the lights are there. I can't even get to education. But I want to tell you, though, that Barbados must be floating about somewhere out in the Atlantic Ocean, hollering for murder, because the Democratic Labour Party mashed up the legacy that he had set out, that Grantley Adams started, and he completed, or he took it to a level. If we had had the University College of Barbados in existence today, our young people would not be on the block, wandering all over the place, getting involved in all kinds of nefarious actions. They can't get in the SJPP because it's the government that called the name change in government. So the SJPP got its name changed and run, I nearly call him by a different name, Jones. He has his name put up there. They changed Ellerslie School, I'll call it used to be Ellerslie Secondary, call it Ellerslie School. And they have not given the youth of Barbados a chance to learn a proper skill, to be able to write a good CV, to be able to finish their education. And when a minister in a government that was a head of a union so many years, that his parliamentary secretary was the general secretary of the Barbados Union of Teachers, that his chief education officer was a president for years. And when they can sit together and determine Alma Parish School has to be closed, God help poor people and developers. All late developers are the ones out there now that people say, take this and go yonder and steal. Take that. The same ones that can't reason. Alma Parish School for the 21 years did an excellent job with thousands of young people. They refused to reallocate some of them, and some 15-year-olds and so are all about the road now, suffering. I close, comrades. The decay and the morals in this society, the fabric, burns the hearts of old and young. I want you all to know, comrades all, the Barbados Labour Party will be the savior of this country whenever an election is called. The Barbados Labour Party will make sure that no consultant will go into the Ministry of Education, getting paid almost $8,000 a month for the last 5 or so years, on a topic called children at risk and bullying, and nothing happened, our children fighting all over the place and stabbing and cursing and videotaping in the worst way. It will not happen under a Barbados Labour Party government. I have a parliamentary question. I can share it with you, otherwise my time is up. But that parliamentary question was tabled the 13th of October 2013, and all it was doing, asking the government to do a study, that a study be commissioned, the remit of which should be to examine and report inter alia on the factors responsible for the increased instances of bullying, especially in school, and to report to the Parliament in a 6-month period. All like today, nothing has happened. No new Education Act. School meals gone to the dogs. Teachers getting appointments in the hand to the hundreds every time when teachers and other civil servants got their appointment letter through the mail. But they must feel now that a Ronald Jones and a Fundell Stewart gave them their appointments, so vote for the Dems. Take the appointments, go into the business place, do your work, vote the Dems out. I want you, ladies and gentlemen, remember that St. Thomas is ready for the election. Team Barbados Labour Party is ready for this election. And as we did in 1994, but better yet in 1999, I love that result. I'm the 27-2. I'm not saying anything more because I don't believe in any dictatorship. Sweep out the Dems. They only care about themselves, their families first, the fatted calf being shared among them, and then the Barbados Labour Party members and the other independent people who didn't vote or who don't give a damn about DRB stay and suffer the indignity of not being able to sleep in their house, of becoming homeless, of going and taking food from Mr. Safri and the other people outside the Parliament at night, men and women, to the tune of scores every day. Breakfast clubs in every school, because poor people cannot afford to feed their children and they're trying to give stopgap measures. I beg you, go out. Do not come telling me you don't feel like voting. I ain't getting a t-shirt. That is insignificant. When finished, you can get 100 shirts that you can share around. But we have to win the government to empower you so that when finished, you pay your bills, you pay your rent, you feed your children, you go to have a little time and have a glass of wine, and you can come and say, I am a proud Barbadian because I still got some fine change in my pocket that I can go another day. Thank you, comrades all, for your warmth, your love, your friendship, your faithfulness, your loyalty, your support. Mia Amal Motley is the person, whenever that election is called, vote for the Barbados Labour Party in your various constituencies. Mia Motley is going to be the astute leader for the Barbados Labour Party as we go from one stage to the next. I want to thank you sincerely. God bless all of you. All aboard? I am aboard. God bless you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Cynthia.